Right, welcome back and thank you so much for choosing to stay with us here at TV47. Now, the amount of female-owned businesses globally has been steadily on the rise. In fact, according to a study in the US, over 8 million firms in the US alone are owned by women, hiring more than 7 million people and generating about $1.5 trillion in revenue. Now, according to the statistics on the 2016 Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises in Kenya, 47.9% of certified businesses were owned by men, whereas only 32.2% were owned by women. Now, women owned about 60.7% of unlicensed businesses. This is a high number of women in the informal sector, steered by survival rather than business opportunities. So in studio with us, we are joined by Jackie Omulima. Thank you so much for joining us today from Lucky Star. You are the CEO and owner of Lucky Star. Yes. Karibu sana. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Fantastic.
And thank you for the invite.
Absolutely, we're really happy. Yeah. Now, the first thing that we realize is about 50% of female CEOs usually tend to say, according to our research rather, that there's not enough support for female entrepreneurs and female owners and CEOs of businesses. What is your opinion on this, and why do you think that the case is true that a lot of women don't actually get the support? And is it true really for your case now, knowing that you've been able to build a business successfully over time?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's true. It's one of the limitations women have. You find out that most women want to venture into business. They have ideas, they have what it takes to run the business, but then getting the funds and getting the support to do it is a big challenge, depending what kind of business you want to do. In most cases, you find out that the women will not get even support from home, from the people around you. Especially when you are a lady and you're telling somebody you want to venture into construction business, and people are like, construction business is for men, not for women. So what happens to our money in case we funded you, in case we are there to support you? What happens to my money? And in case you're talking to an investor whom you are inviting on board to invest in your company, someone will come with same question. What guarantees that I'm not wasting my money? Because I think what you want to do is impossible. It's next to impossible. But again, I don't think that is supposed to put you down. You're supposed to be focused on the call. You have to believe in yourself and know what you want to do. Yeah. So in most cases, the women will be facing that kind of challenges, and especially when they don't know where to go or what to do.
Right. Now, taking your own personal experience and example then, because you've gone through the motions and actually been able to understand what it takes and what really one needs to do as a female entrepreneur in order to get those the finances and the support. What is it that you were able to really do in order to get to where you've gotten to?
I got to have to build a faithful relationship with the people who knows me. That's creating my network with the people who knows me. Those are the suppliers, the clients we have, because one happy client will refer another client. And then the network, the faithfulness between the company and the suppliers out there. When they supply you material, is what you give them as a word. Will it come to pass, or it's just something you're not ready to respect? So when I started, we actually started at a very low tone, and finances were one of the challenges we faced mostly. And as a woman, I think we had to talk to our banks and other financing institutions. And sometimes the limitation also comes in terms of security, the guarantee and the guarantors. And also the type of business you do, it will either give you the access to the loan or not.
Does it really matter? Should it matter that it's a female or a male that's walking up to the finances really to get some of the financing for example, now in your case, real estate and construction? And, in terms of the mindset really for the women that are held back as a result of whatever societal constraints might have on them, yes. Really, should it matter or should it mean anything that one is a woman or one is a man to be able to grow their business if this is the direction or path that they want to take?
Actually, that shouldn't be a determining factor. The issue of being a male or a female, the thing is, I'm able to do what I want to do, and I can do it even better than what a man can do. Because even when you're doing it, you're not doing it like you alone. you have the workmanship. The workman is in terms of female and male. So it is just you having that company and everything in place, having a business proposal and everything, a business plan, and to actualize it, you'll need a network of people to work with. And then when you have the hierarchy of command, everybody is involved, both men and women. So there's no way you want to do a business and you let this to be a limitation to you. Yes.
In a research actually conducted in 2012, it was discovered that women tend to be more fearful of actually that failure, fear of failure, and even sometimes again fear of success. Is this? I mean, what's your take on this? It seems gross and overestimated and actually strange research, but that's actually what was found. So, what would you actually speak on this?
In business, there's always a profit and loss accounts. Why are those accounts there? You have to plan both to fail and to succeed. If you start a business today and it fails once and you give up, you are not meant to be in business. Just look for something else to do. But when you start and fail, learn and take a point from that failure, you know where you went wrong, and then rectify the mistake, pick up again, start all over again. If it goes down, now that's another opportunity to learn. What did I not do right? Whatever you did not do right, you go back again. Sit down and have a better plan. It is a learning process. It is about growth. If you want to start a business about making this glass on the table, you cannot just make it perfect. You'll make the first one will break. The first one will actually not even come to a one-piece glass. It will crash again and again until you make a product that you can use to take water.
How long do you think it took you to be able to master your craft?
It took years. It took years. It has taken years. And I'm still on the learning process, because once you venture into business and you are determined to make it work, you get to employ, you go to employ more skills. That's a learning every day. You take it as a learning process, because you find out about this, you didn't know about it. Now you have to know what does it take to run this business. And tomorrow you wake up one morning and there's this one challenge here, and you learn how to go about it. And that is a learning process. So there's always a room for learning. But when you fail, don't say, because I started and it did not work, I won't go again. We started so many times. We start at the right note, you go down, only for you to stand strong. Stay focused to your call, and you have to succeed. There's no way you can let yourself to fail and then you give up.
There's a notion that really no man is an island, and you always need that the right people around you to kind of hold your hand in getting their mentors, so to speak. So really, did you have any mentors, being a female, who are also female, that were helping you or pushing you in the right direction, or it didn't really matter for you? Anyone who was making it in the construction world or space was good enough for you to learn from them?
Actually, each and every one of us needs a mentor. You have that person who you look up to as a role model, someone who has succeeded in that industry. If not in that industry, there's someone you admire, and you know if you approach this person, he has good guidelines that are going to help you stand on your own in your business. So yeah, I have mentors. The ones that used to mentor me, they are still there, and the ones I've gotten recently, they are still there. So I have a network of them. We coordinate all the time. Anytime you need advice or something to do with the challenges you're facing, you talk to them and you get the guidelines, you get the network, and someone will introduce you to someone else and say, I think you're supposed to talk to this person. He's in a better position to advise you. That's including the legal team. You need to be legally advised, because if you just do things on your own, you won't know what you're doing right constitutionally or as an individual. So you have to have the mentors and the advisors on board.
Where do you think the gaps are when it comes to entrepreneurship and women? Gaps that women can easily identify and begin to fill these spaces?
The gaps in terms of?
You know, in terms of entrepreneurship and really building your business. Perhaps for example, maybe there is a certain area or space that you've realized, having been in the space for a while, that very many women tend to shy away from that area. And actually it's a huge gap, because there's a huge return on investment. There are lots of profits you can make. And, you know, women are not really taking advantage of them in comparison to men. So where are these gaps?
I can say in my own case, in construction industry, there's a very big gap, to be occupied, because we can find out that so many people are still renting houses. If you go to the slums, you have so many people living there. I'm sorry I didn't have my numbers on paper, but there are so many people looking forward to owning homes. So if I'm doing the construction, if I was to do rental apartments, I'll go to for sale, because and then you go for low costing houses whereby you accommodate the normal mwananchi out there, someone who can afford, someone who is in the slums but can do a certain period of time to do the payments through the years, like you give to yourself 5 years, and then as they finish paying, the house belongs to them. So that people are like, you get off this thing of paying rent, you're paying school fees, you're paying electricity and all other bills on you, and everything becomes so hard for some people. So there's a gap, there's a very big gap when it comes to construction industry. There's a big gap if you come to supplies of materials, because as long as people are building, there's always a space for you. Right. And let me tell you, even when at the materials that are used to construct a house, a complete house. Let's take an example of paint.
Right.
Both the houses that were built in 2001 until now, and the ones that are ongoing, will always paint the houses.
Right.
The market, the paint market, how many companies are there selling the paints, at what rate? And if you went to study about how to make paint, you'll find out, if you went to learn on how to make the paint, you have a very big market. There's a very big market out there if you have the potential to do it. But you don't have to limit yourself. This can be done by anybody. There's a very big market.
Right. And so how do you deal with the stereotype then in that case? For example, you're talking about hardware or paint, where, you know, now you have to really get dirty and get to the grass and get to the level where now you're rolling up your sleeves and you have to be actively involved in selecting and choosing and knowing what goes where and what needs to be done. So really, how are you able to deal with the stereotype being a woman entrepreneur?
You know, when it gets to being a woman in business, and I am determined to be at the top, I'll do whatever it takes. It is not about looking beautiful. When I'm not working in the office, you'll find me wearing a casual. You'll find my partner wearing very casual, because we are there with the sand, with all the dust and everything. We put on those caps and we are walking. And you put on like, you know, you always dress according to what you're going to do on that particular day.
Right.
Yeah. So it is not a limitation about the dirty part of it is the part that makes you money. So if you look on the cleanliness and the makeup thing, you won't make money. Even though the makeup itself is already a business, you can still make someone's face and you get paid. But when you are like doing the business and someone looks down on you and says, hey, this is a very dirty business, I don't think I want. If most of us, we were to look on that aspect of business, we wouldn't have done the construction business, because it's all about cement, it's about kokoto, it's about sand, it's about everything. And by the time you're leaving the place, even the hair itself says, you smell like the sand. So when people are looking down on that, and that is where I would like to go. When it's selling charcoal, and someone says, I don't want to get that, you don't want to get that, you'll stay poor. Yeah. Because the dirt you see, that's where money lies.
Right.
Yes.
So the very opportunity, exactly where people are running away from and probably have that mindset that, oh, it's too much work or whatnot, that's exactly where the opportunity lies.
It is, because you can see the recycling companies, they are doing well. Where do they get these things to recycle? These people who walk around kwa takataka and they collect the garbage and they go there picking plastic bottles, plastic plastic things and nylon papers to create something out of it, and they earn a living. If someone gives you the mathematics of how much they earn, you'll be shocked. And you're sitting in your office waiting for 50,000 salary to come in your bank account. That's the money someone makes in an hour. And you're looking up on that salary for a whole month. For someone like me, if you tell me to sit in an office, I'll tell you, I'll sit in an office for a limited time. Most of my time, I'm out. I like working in the sun. I like doing those things that will give me more. And then when I'm done, when I have it in my account, I can now go and clean up and put on nicely. And then I'm good to go. So I don't need to be clean all over. And then I'm broke. I don't have to. Yeah.
Fantastic. Very wise words there. Now, unfortunately, that's the only time I had with you for today because our time is actually run out. You know, this lady is determined to do whatever it takes actually to get it done and actually seeing the opportunity and asking the tough question like, does it make me money? If it does, then it's worth doing it, right?
Yes.
And so definitely we'll be joined by her another time where we'll have a more interactive panel discussion from other ladies on Wednesdays where we have a discussion around women entrepreneurs and leaders in the entrepreneurial space. I've been your host, Lucy Riley, and I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place on the Day's Counter. Do stay with us for Sheena Laupeo.